Quite an eventful final 3 holes there. Can you,
You know
just talk
me.
through what happened?
You know me. Yeah, 16. I just pulled. I unfortunately was trying to cut on 16. The wind kind of switched back into us, and I tried to cut, didn't hit a cut, and just kind of my motion kind of got off. I started pulling a lot of shots. So I'm gonna go out there and work on that on the range and hopefully tidy that up because the first few holes were awesome out here today. Anyway, it just is what it is. I guess it's golf, but I was able to get a few fortunate breaks, especially on 17, and make a beautiful par off that road. And then 18, again, just had the pulls. I pulled it left, but I knew if I was trying to go down one so I could have an angle into that flag. If I was going more towards where Hideki was going, it'd be kind of a weird bounce up into the hole. But I just pulled it a little bit and then got a drop and then was able to hit a 70-yard wedge shot that just hit to perfection and was able to make birdie there. But yeah, it was definitely an adventurous a few holes at 116 at 120 feet. It was just a great four putt, you know.
The
Awesome.
drop you got, what was the ruling there?
On which one?
Uh, 17 it was.
17. So you had the grandstands in my line and the scoreboard in my line, so I could go back out where it was in between the TV tower, which is a totally different drop as well. I could have dropped again, but they would have put me in the fescue. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it and fine with that. So it worked out to my advantage and overcut it. It was a compensation from 16, and I just got to go work on being more consistent.
Do you ever practice shots off roads?
Actually, I did a couple times growing up, not to this extent, but I was back at my home golf course, Belmont Country Club, long time ago. But no, I haven't practiced it recently. Pitching wedge, just like off the toe. I was trying to like have some loft, but still bounce it into the bank, and then hopefully hit a good spot where it doesn't hit dead and doesn't hit a hot spot either. So hit it perfectly, bounced up and rolled over beautifully. I was very lucky. So definitely happy with the way it finished out.
What was the? Why did you get the drop on the 18th? Can you explain what happened there?
Yeah, so I was up against the fence, and they have drop zones for that. And then the out of bounds stakes were past that and farther left of that. So kind of nice. You can just hit it into there and get it. Yeah, and roll it into there. Not trying to actually hit it in there. Just kind of pull the left.
Where are you health-wise now? Like, compared to being at your healthiest, where do you think you are?
I mean, look, I'm probably 97 to 98% now. There's every once in a while where my hand just gets tired, fatigued still. But for the most part, I mean, I'm going to start speed training here again after, in the month of August when we don't have any tournaments going on for me.
Are you hitting the distances that you like again? Or
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the power's back? And
Yeah, I mean, the driver, I'm honing it in this week because, again, it's so firm fast. You can't just let it go and have it land soft. So you got to be really precise with it. So I'm like around 190 ball speed. But I can get it to 200. It's just not worth it out here.
Bryson, is your training and approach to training going to be different now, having had these injuries?
Yeah, I've got to train my hand a lot more efficiently. I didn't take care of that one bit when I was first off speed training. It was all core and everything, and that was luckily pretty solid. Never really had an issue with anything in the core. Just didn't train the hand properly, and that's what I'll be focused on, mainly working on as I start going.
You don't feel a danger doing speed training at all, given the uncertainty? Are you relaxed?
No. I mean, the bone's out. I mean, the part that was compression fractured is gone, shaven down. So it's now just it's a spheroid, I guess. And rather than having a little hook out there and a little fin, it's vulnerable. So it's all gone, and hopefully I can start ramping up the speeds again and get myself even more consistent. Because look, I want to be one of the best golfers in the world, if not the best, at one point in time in my career. So we'll see how that goes. I just got to make sure I'm hitting it straight while I'm hitting it farther.
Bryson, you've been involved with the golf research and science and everything, and you talked about opening academy
Yeah.
soon.
Mm-hmm.
Could you expand a little bit about this nice project?
Yeah. It's just a multi-sport complex center. I've allocated some resources to being able to do that, and then tie it into my foundation, and eventually create a charter school through that. And there'll be a lot of education, research as well going out of there. Probably more along the lines of golf to start off, and then eventually hopefully baseball and tennis and basketball. But that's down the road. It's going to take a bit before I can get there.
Are you going to take this internationally?
Yeah. This model, it'll be a smaller version of it, but yeah, especially when we have long drive grids. we're going to be doing that a lot more around the country.
You enjoying the theatre on each tee box, the
Yeah, it's
relationship
fun.
with the fans who
They're
booing
awesome.
you for not taking drive? I mean, how does that
Yeah,
impact your
I
decision
love it.
making?
Look, I'm trying to win a major, right? So I'm trying to play where I can have the best opportunity to make birdie. So it's fun. I know I'm going to get booed. I have no problem with that whatsoever. If anything, it's good banter.
Bryson, with the firm turf, what goes into your prep to play at a place like this with the wedges, particularly that interaction? What are you doing?
I know because it's dry and firm, it's going to spin a lot less off the wedges, so we have to take that into account. I go hit some shots on the practice range off some dry turf, making sure we know what spin rate's going to come out of there, and then I go to the greener grass. So depending on the lie, we definitely focus on like what spin rate's going to come off of that and how it's going to come out. So I have to take that into account at some level.
Has there been anything similar to it that you've played, whether like the President's Cup or anything?
Yeah, probably President's Cup down in Royal Melbourne. Yeah, that was probably about the same. There's some times where I just got too much bounce in it, so I got to lean it forward and kind of hit down on it pretty hard. But I need that bounce for the bunkers out here.
On 17, Bryson, if we were playing it, obviously the hotel would be in our minds, etc. When you play, is that just not relevant?
Well, in order for me to hit that fairway with the wind, I would have to take it over the top of the hotel. So it was a bit of a brutal deal for me, and I didn't felt like if I pushed it, it might not have come back in that wind, and I just kind of overcooked it left. But it does play into your mind a little bit. I don't really notice it when I'm teeing off because I'm hitting it so high off the tee, but it still does play a bit into your mind. I'm not a cut player, so yeah, it does come into play a little bit.
Okay. Are you staying there this week?
No. I've got a place. I don't want to hit one into my room.
Bryson, have you gotten any sense from the LIV people about what the status of world rankings will be down the line? Whether it's next year, what have you, and because you're not getting them now, do you feel any extra pressure in an event like this to perform so you get points?
No, I think over the course of time it'll all work itself out. I think at some capacity we'll find a way to coexist and work together through this to make the best entertainment we possibly can for the world.
You said earlier you want to be the best in the world, so I guess you need it. So you need it sorted out to fulfill that ambition, don't you?
Yeah, but I think look, when I won 4 times in 2018, even though I wasn't number one in the world at that current point in time, I felt like my game was world number one. So there's not necessarily a ranking system that needs to be like, oh, this is what makes you number one in the world. I think that inherently people know who's playing the best golf at that current point in time. So if that's the goal, then that's great as well for me. But it's a bit of both. At some point, I think we will resolve the situation and whatnot.
Do you think in 2018 that was the best golf you've ever played?
Yeah, by far. That was by far the best golf I've ever played. I'm feeling like I'm getting back to that position with this new speed, which is great. I just got to hone some stuff in. Like, again, that finish on the last 3 or 4 holes was just not the way I wanted to close it out, especially on those difficult holes. If I can conquer that and get back to where I can control the golf ball off the tee, just like I want to in those right-to-left wins, I feel like I'll have the opportunity to be close to number one.
Are you tempted to drive to the green at 18, or is that not something?
Yeah, with my 4-iron. Yeah. Yeah, I just like bulleting. I can make it run forever. I did it in the practice round. I hit it 4-iron onto the green a couple times.
Yeah.
And so if it's the right wind, for sure. If it's...
you said you were trying to play it left today.
Yeah, just because of I was trying to play it left so I could have a shot up the slope, and I just pulled it a little bit too much. But hitting hybrid or 3-wood, it's very easily doable to hit it out of bounds with those, just because it rolls so far. And so I'm willing to play more of a bullet 4-iron out there and take my medicine that way.
Do you feel like
That
you know
sucks.
how to play this golf course?
Sorry.
That's right. Do you feel like after you played 2 or 3 practice rounds and now you're 3 rounds in the championship, do you feel like you really know how to play this golf course?
I don't think you ever know how to play this golf course fully. I mean, every day it's different. It showcases a unique golf course each time the wind pops up or doesn't pop up. It's just different. I don't know how else to explain it. You can't really ever conquer it. You can't ever really control it. You just got to go out there and try and take what it gives you and play to spots in the greens where you can, and then 2-putt where you have to. What I mean by that is you just got to be very strategic. You're never going to understand this golf course fully.
With it being so short, can it be like almost a little frustrating where
Yes.
you feel like you can...
Yeah, I mean, sure, it can definitely be frustrating, but it's also an enjoyable test for 1 week of the year. Yeah, cool.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bryson. Thank you.